Right, morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vays. Though today is just a continuation of Q&A. It's the weekend. It's nice to relax, and it's kind of cold out here this morning. So we will do the best we can by just doing some Q&A. Let me pull out your live chat here so I can keep an eye on that. Not going to have anyone join today. It's just going to be me. And get this on the other side. And we'll be good to go. Oh, the food was great. I grilled a whole sea bass too. Food was excellent. When and how do you end up in the financial sector? And what was the first asset you traded? So my first job was at Bear Stearns Asset Management. I wasn't actually trading for Bear Stearns. I was building risk models or helping the PhD quants build risk models because my financial engineering degree is only a master's degree, not a PhD. I wasn't that good of a programmer. Excel VBA was my programming language of choice, which was very useful, by the way, on Wall Street. If you want a job on Wall Street, well, I know it's been a long time, but if you know how to program databases, you'll be fine. If you know SQL, you'll get a job. SQL, Python, VBA, be an Excel expert, know a little bit of finance, and you'll get a job. I mean, you don't even need to know any finance. You can just be really good at, I mean, you have to know some finance, but like that finance is easy. Learning VBA, be an Excel expert, SQL, Python, that's the harder stuff, much harder. Do you think the social unrest will bring the stock market to all-time high soon just to annoy people? No. I think the social unrest is going to be bad for the stock market. Mutant squirrel update. What's more important in trading, entry or exit? I mean, they're both important. That's why I have a video tutorial called Entries, Exits, and Stop Losses. I mean, I think entries are a little more important than exits. I think it's easier to learn good exits than good entries. Will Bitcoin go to $1 million in 9 years? I don't know. It should come close in 9 years. I mean, Bitcoin is 11 years old, and it's made it this far. It's gonna have to get close to that number. Maybe not within 9 years, but probably within 15 to 20 years, it'll have to go that high. Otherwise, it can't function as a global financial system. Tone, is the break of the symmetric confirmed only if the close above it tonight? Yeah, probably. Let's go take a look at the Bitcoin's symmetric triangle on the daily. Hey guys, Understanding Bitcoin conference is still going to happen as far as we know right now, as of now, and that would be in October. If you want to support, check out the affiliate page, and let's go to Bitcoin price. We're still in this channel on a 4-hour, going out long term, view back. God, am I going to be getting these? Let me hold on a second. I got to move some windows around. Oh, it's also very hard to see. Like in the sun, and then the sun goes away, so I can't. It was probably a bad idea to do Q&A because I can't see anything. Because when the sun is shining, it's freezing, but the sun is shining. What do you suggest is the best exchange to buy Bitcoin to HODL? I don't know. I don't have a best exchange. There's no best exchange. What happens when all the Bitcoin is mined? God, I'm so tired of answering that question. What happens to the fees in the hash rate? You must be new here. I'm just tired of answering that question. It takes a long time to answer, and I've done it a dozen times. I just don't want to do it right now. I can't answer the same question every time. How long did it take you for your trading to click? Meaning you have a sound strategy. It took about 5 years. It took about 5 years. It took about 5 years of working my ass off trading before I had a good handle on it. Anyone that tries to teach you trading that hasn't done it for a decade, I would question. It took me a good 5 years before I knew what the hell I was doing when it came to trading. And I was trained by professional traders. Can you guys hold on 1 second? I'll be right back. I'll take care of something real quick. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Damn, the sun is still killing me here. Okay. Tone, are you old enough to remember the LA riots? How does the current situation compare? I'm old enough to remember them, but I wasn't really in this country at the time. I wasn't living here. I wasn't living in the US at that time. Remember, I wasn't born in the US. Okay, well, let's go to the daily chart. Do you think a 300 kilobyte block size is good for decentralization? Yeah, the smaller the block size, the better it is for decentralization. That's why there is the fine line that developers need to kind of manage of how small the block size should be while maintaining good enough decentralization. I mean, it's easy to say that any a block bigger than 1 megabyte just starts to kill your decentralization. We have to adjust the triangle, guys. We're always adjusting these triangles, and that's fine because we're drawing them prematurely anyway. Yeah, I'm starting to push the limits a little bit. It's not really much of a descending triangle anymore. It's becoming hard to draw it. Yeah, if we go any higher, if we close above this triangle, it's pretty much over, and I'm going to start to get bullish here. It's actually now or never for It's kind of like now or never for this resistance line right here, because next week, and that's it. So if we don't start going down right here, right about now, then there is a very good probability of a breakout. How are you feeling about the stock market for tomorrow? It looks like we'll keep going up. I don't. I'm pretty bearish. I mean, with what's happening with civil unrest, with what's happening in the US with civil unrest, I can't possibly be bullish the stock market. What are the odds of US government banning US citizens from trading or holding Bitcoin? Very, very small. While they cannot grab keys, but they might go after, say, GBTC in US brokerage. But that's the thing, right? Like they can't go after GBTC because they approve GBTC, and so you're contradicting your understanding of the government banning it, right? Like the government, like you don't make something legal only then to ban it later. It's insane. That's not happening, right? Like if the government was interested in making Bitcoin illegal, they would never have approved GBTC. So because GBTC exists and they gave it approval, and serious financial institutions are now involved because the government said it's fine, they can't just go and make it illegal. It becomes very, very difficult. There'll be a lot of lawsuits. Going back to that, what happens when all the Bitcoin is mined? You will no longer be alive when all the Bitcoin is mined, because that's not happening till like 100 years from now. So that's when all the Bitcoin gets mined. So the initial question is, why do you care what happens after you're dead? I mean, there are things that you want to care about, like freedom and stuff, but assume smart people will solve the problem that's 80 years away. The other thing is the fees will make up for it. And plenty of people will be mining. Imagine how useful Bitcoin will be in 80 years. People will mine it for a loss. I mine Bitcoin for a loss now. I don't mind paying a little bit of an electric bill on a single miner. Many people will do the same. Think we need privacy among most other solutions first. It can basically be tracked now. Yeah, I mean, privacy is needed everywhere. Do you think the protests, along with everything else, will contribute to the market going lower Monday and hopefully Bitcoin and gold go up? I think so. I mean, I'm leaning towards a fall in the stocks, but a rise in gold and Bitcoin. That's where I'm leaning towards. Is civil unrest good for Bitcoin? If it's really bad civil unrest, then it's not good for anything or anyone. But if it's civil unrest in like a couple of cities, if it's just LA, Chicago, Minneapolis, if it's like 10 big cities and less, then it's kind of good for Bitcoin, because people that aren't dealing with civil unrest will look for something where they can hide. Because look, if there is massive civil unrest and you have money, where are you going to hide it? You can't put it in gold. I mean, if your house gets broken into, they're going to take the gold. So your only option is Bitcoin. This consolidation of resistance reminds me of April 2019, when we had the breakout on a weekly 9. No, I talked about this a few weeks ago. It's not like that at all. We're looking at it right here. The breakout was on a 9, but we were nowhere for like 10 weeks, and we were really stuck. That's not the same here. We went up. We were, it took us, we were at 3,100, and this is 4,000. So it took us like 3 months, more than 3 months, right? This is the early December, and this is early April. So January, February, March, April. It took us 4 months to go up 25%. And right here, it took us not 4 months to go up 25% from the low of 3,800, right, to right here to 9,000. That is not 25% higher. That is 200% higher. And it happened in how much time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, right? So it took us less than 2 months to go 200%. Here it took us 4 months to go up 25%. So it's not anywhere like what happened in April. It's nothing like that. 4 months to go 25% versus less than 2 months to go 200%. It's not the same thing. It's not even close. Can we break out to 20,000 next week? We can, but you can't compare it to what happened in April of last year. It's nowhere near the same thing. I know you say you don't listen to music anymore because you don't have time, but who's your favorite rapper? Ooh, you know, I don't have a favorite rapper. I don't have favorites. I just don't. There's songs that I really like, but I don't have like favorite rappers. I don't have any favorite musicians. Every musician I ever liked, I'm like, wow, this is one of the best songs I ever heard. And then on the same album, like, wow, this song is completely horrible. Like, so having a favorite rapper means you're blindly believing in their music and their message. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe in worshiping, a person. So there's songs that I like and there's songs that I don't like. But I don't have favorite rappers, and I don't have rappers that I hate either. Like there's rappers where the majority of songs I really couldn't care less for, but they also have good stuff, even if I don't like the majority of their songs. Everybody's different. Common is pretty good. I like most of his stuff. Do big whale alerts have any insight to movement of price? Not to me. To me, they don't. Wow, I really want to see these questions. Oh man. All right, I gotta move my laptops here. I just can't. Can't see. We have cycles on Bitcoin, and each cycle extends. Each cycle and a series of cycles have longer time frames than previous. Do you see the? Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But there's also shorter cycles because technology advances, and the amount of time it takes to crash the market 100 years ago is not the same amount of time it takes to crash the market today because the information travels faster. While some cycles have a longer wavelength, other cycles will probably have a shorter wavelength. We also have faster trading and bot trading. Tone, take on the group Anonymous. I don't have one. I don't have a take on it. I'm not familiar with it. What do you think of Peter Schiff? What do you think Peter Schiff will be right about his doom and gloom predictions over the past 15 years? I mean, Peter Schiff is right, for 6 to 12 months, every 8 to 10 years. I mean, it's fine. I don't mind. What do you think of algorithmic trading? Is it effective? It's effective if you write the right algorithm. You can do it too. I don't mind algorithmic trading. You still gotta program it. What do you think about Tesla long term? I love Tesla long term. I always did. You've never heard me say anything bad about Tesla. Yeah, I mean, like your bot trading is only as good as the programmer and the financial model that was used to program it. That's all. That's all. AI is nothing more than a computer algorithm, guys. Remember that. It's nothing more than the guy who coded it. Tone, we have to get you on Joe Rogan. I'd love to get on Joe Rogan. That'd be awesome. 92% of all trades in the world are done by algos. Right, but 99% of those trades were coded by a human. So, I mean, like, we don't have, I don't believe in AI, guys. I don't. Remember, when you set a limit order, a bot executes your limit order. So what? 92% of all trades are done by algos. So what? Who cares? If you write a bad algo, it's going to lose you money. Who cares? You see, what people don't realize is when Bitcoin gives you value, when your business functions because of Bitcoin transactions, when your life savings are in Bitcoin, you need to protect your business. You need to protect your life savings. What better way to do it than to pay a $50 a month electric bill and run a miner? No one uses Monero. Nobody cares. No one cares about Monero. No one uses it. People care as much about Monero as they care about a privacy-focused competitor to Facebook. No one uses it, so who cares? Yeah, Elijah, I completely agree. Although most trades are done through bots, they are coded by humans, which means it follows similar human traits while trading. 100% agree, 100%. Tone, have you decided if you go live tomorrow before market open? No, I want to go to the gym. I want to go to the gym. Unless I make a stream real early in the morning, if I wake up, I want to go to the gym. The world's opening up. I wanna start working out again. I'm starting to look like a cancer patient, considering I'm, shaving my head now. Do you use a bank? Yeah, I have to use a bank. I don't have a choice. Tone, what do you think about investing in startup capital, US based, low cost power, Bitcoin mining farm? I'm not an expert. I wouldn't do it. I don't like to invest. Period. Like in startups. I don't have an expertise. Go talk to Willie. Well, no, please don't go talk to Willie Woo. But like Willie Woo has an expertise in investing in startups. I invested in Bitcoin startups back in 2015. You know what happened? I lost more than half my Bitcoin. So I'm not doing that again. Almost lost all of it too. That's not my specialty. Investing in startup companies, I'm terrible at that. I'll never do that again. I don't understand why people still ask me to invest in their startups. I'm gonna be like, no. You want to be responsible for losing the rest of my Bitcoin? No, that's not what I do. That's not my specialty. I have no ability to pick winners and losers. None in the startup space. None. Not my specialty. My specialty is education. That's my specialty. Education, trading, analysis, critical thinking, not picking winning and losing companies. Not my specialty. Monero was in the news article on BBC today. Stealth mining scare. Again, who cares? If BBC wants to waste their time on Monero, let them waste their time on Monero. If we break 10.5 thousand, what would your next target be? If we break 10.5 thousand on a week close-end basis and we hold above 10,000 for a month or two, my next target is like $45,000. No, people use Bitcoin all the time. See, this is what you don't understand. Like, it's insane. Like, you can say that nobody uses Bitcoin when you compare it to the US dollar. Sure, the amount of people using Bitcoin compared to the US dollar is less than 1%. But if you compare the usage of shitcoins to Bitcoin, the cumulative usage of all the shitcoins combined is less than 1% compared to the usage of Bitcoin. So you got to be more realistic and specific. When I say nobody uses shitcoins, I'm comparing that to Bitcoin. But if you're going to tell me nobody uses Bitcoin, I will agree with you if you're comparing it to the usage of the global usage of the US dollar. I'll agree. No one uses Bitcoin compared to the US dollar. But you can't tell me that no one uses Bitcoin compared to the crypto space. That's insane. 99% of all usage is in Bitcoin. So do you think it's scammy when exchanges that host publicly traded assets delay data unless you pay them? I'm not really following the question. What do you mean delay data? And what do you mean by publicly traded assets? Yeah, don't use those exchanges. You know, go to a more honest exchange. The reason why your exchanges aren't honest because there's no regulation of the exchanges. I mean, that's what's going to happen. You need regulation. You need regulation in financial markets. Otherwise, everyone scams each other. There's not going to be any honesty in any of them if there's no regulation. You need regulation. I'm against KYC AML bullshit, but I'm for regulation of the financial sector. I'm not saying it's done right the way it is right now, but without regulation in the financial sector, you'll have no financial sector. I mean, go use the financial sector of Africa. I mean, they don't have very good regulation there. Why do you think everyone uses the US markets? Why do you think everyone wants to get around the Howey test of what is and isn't a security? It's what the ICOs are. Everyone wants access to US capital. And they will, try to get around it as best they can. Get around the regulation to get access to US capital. Because that's where most capital is. Tone, when are you getting married? Good question. My parents ask me that all the time too. When I find the right wifey. Tone, okay, I got that one already. Bitcoin is the true definition of a peaceful protest. I agree. Tone, how do you feel about the government recently passing a bill making it easier to sue social media platforms? I don't like it. I'm not happy with that. The government is basically will force these social media companies to police the content on their platforms. And then if they don't do it to the government's liking, they will go after the company. So it's just bad. It's just a way for the government to attack social media companies based on what they don't want to see. It's bad all around. Tone, do you believe we have back-tested support 6,000, 8,000 enough to sustain 10.5 thousand and challenge all-time highs if we break out within 7 days? That's a very good question. Do you believe we have back-tested support 6 and 8,000 enough? Just barely. I will. Yes, I like if you force me to choose one way or another, I believe we've back tested it enough, but not. I would have liked to see bigger and stronger tests, but we back tested it like the minimalist amount enough for us to go to new all-time high. What are your thoughts on trading with Renko charts? No thoughts, no experience whatsoever. What are your thoughts on grayscale and hedge funds effect on Bitcoin price buying 1.5 times more Bitcoin than mined lately? It's bullish. It's bullish for Bitcoin. It's a bullish development. Tone, when will you visit Slovenia? I don't know. I don't know when I'll be visiting anything these days. Like, I have no idea when I'm traveling next. No idea. All right. Thoughts on VTIQ? No idea what that is. VTIQ. Never heard of it. Vic. Whoa. Whoa. What the hell happened here? Oh, it's a weekly chart. Hold on. So the weekly chart, what number is that on? We're on a 7. I don't know what this is, but whatever it is, they're doing well. They're running a good business, looks like. It's not a penny stock. It looks good. I mean, I wouldn't buy into it. I would say I missed it, but I wouldn't chase it. But if I was in it, I'd still be long. People have been asking about DraftKings. DR, what is it? Draft DKNG. There it is. Wow. I mean, sports haven't even started yet, and this thing is on a tear. How to grab this? Wow, this looks super bullish. Now, I am looking for a market to pull back, but this looks amazing, incredible. $40 stock now. We were watching it like a month ago when it was still 20 bucks. It's doubled. Looks great. I mean, like there's no stopping it. Looks really good. It's bullish. Bullish on daily. Let me see what it looks like on weekly. Oh, I don't have it here. Oh man, this was my Bitcoin chart. Shit. This was my Bitcoin daily chart. Damn. Damn, but I forgot which ticker I was using. Ticker I was using. Shit. Let's try Bitstamp. Let's see if I can get it back to where it was. Yep, that's the one. It's the Bitcoin weekly. Okay, cool. I'm using the wrong tab. I should be using this tab. What else can we look at? Tone, what do you think is the biggest threat to Bitcoin? Well, let's go to the Tone Vays website. Don't forget to support with the affiliate page. Go to the Tone Vays blog and search biggest threat. What is the biggest threat to Bitcoin? Look at that. Tone has written an article. What is the biggest threat to Bitcoin? When did I write that article? I wrote that article in 2014, May of 2014. 6 years ago, more than 6 years ago, I wrote this article. Read it. Biggest threat to Bitcoin, right there. Misinformation. I wrote it 6 years ago, and I have no reason to change a single word of this article, and it's been 6 years, okay? And this is before fake Bitcoin like Bcash existed, before Craig Wright existed, before Ethereum existed, for God's sakes, okay? Spreading all this bullshit. So the biggest threat to Bitcoin has always been misinformation. Okay, and it still is today. Ending income tax is the biggest threat to Bitcoin. I don't know. I don't know if that's the biggest. Elimination of KYC AML laws and prosecution over KYC AML is probably a bigger threat to Bitcoin. But yeah, uh, governments creating sound money again, governments, removing laws like FATCA and FBAR, letting you use your money any way you like, lowering taxes. These are all threats to Bitcoin, of course. These are all big threats to Bitcoin. All right, what else we got? Let's look at the questions. Trezor or Cold Card? It depends. I find Trezor way more user-friendly. Cold Card is considered more secure. So what's more important to you? More security or better usability? Now, Trezor security is good enough. It's good enough security. Tone, what are your thoughts on companies like BlockFi? I think they take advantage of the crypto space by convincing people that they're like decentralized when they're not, when they're completely centralized. I don't mind the idea of what BlockFi does, which is giving you loans based on Bitcoin collateral. I just think it's stupid the way they do it and the way DAI does it. I just think that all these companies pretending to be DeFi that want to loan you money, they take on all the disadvantages of a blockchain without any of the advantages of a blockchain other than a marketing advantage that they think they are a blockchain, but they're not a blockchain. So I think the way BlockFi is being run is stupid, but I don't think that the service they're providing is stupid. I just think the way they're providing it is dumb. Tone, how much space does the silver gold ratio has falling? Do you think it will ever go under 80? Yeah, I think it can go under 80. I think it can go back to like 70, maybe even 50, but then it's going to go to 1,000. So it's a dead cat bounce, or it's a dead cat pullback in the silver gold ratio, or gold silver ratio to put it, more consistently. Could you go over your thoughts on the S&P again? I mean, I think it topped. I mean, there's nothing more to say. I think the S&P has rallied a lot in the last month and a half, and I think it's time for it to pull back. I don't know how big that pullback is. Tone, do you think SHOP is in a hyperwave? I'm not familiar with SHOP. And it doesn't want to change. So if I can't pull it up, then I can't pull it up. I have internet out here. Any worries by so many noob investors have come in with unemployment is so high? I don't know. They have money, nothing to do with it. Oh, Shop is Shopify. So I don't know why it's not pulling up. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't think it's I don't know. I can't tell you unless my thing's working. So I'll try it again. Wow, it's really a $700 stock? I did not know that. Had no idea. Well, it's topping next week, obviously. Had no idea Shopify went that high up. I mean, it's not in a hyperwave. It's well, maybe if I put it on, if I take the log off. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. You're right. It isn't a hyperwave. Yeah. Wow. I should text this to Socrates. I'm sure he knows. Yeah, once you take it off log scale, put it on a weekly scale. That looks like the wave 4 of hyperwave just ended. Because if that's wave 1, and this is wave 2, and that was wave 3, and we have just been in a wave 4 and it just ended. Wow, this looks great. I'll shoot this over to the Hyperwave Research Telegram channel and ask them about it. I'm sure they're on top of it. Yeah, looks like wave 4 just broke. I don't see how this isn't in hyperwave. This is a little rough right here. Would have been hard to touch this part. I don't feel like drawing it right now, but yeah, it looks great. All right, let me see if there's any other questions. NLOK. NLOK. Weekly chart looks okay. Looks bullish to me. Tone, thoughts on Socrates' MSR indicator? No thoughts. I haven't had time to trade it. Like, I don't really trade these things, guys. It's not, look, he doesn't charge that much money for it. Watch his videos, test it out. It doesn't matter if I like it. What matters is, do you like it? Can you make money with it? I'm not actively trading. If I was actively trading, I wouldn't be doing these videos, sitting in the middle of a forest doing Q&A. Hey, Lucas, thank you for your super chat. Hi, Tone. Thank you for the good work. Are you the work you're providing to the community? Yeah, you're welcome. I'm wondering, do you think that you could use sequential as trailing stop losses? I guess maybe you could. I mean, I don't, but I use other means. But you could. There's nothing stopping you. You gotta be consistent within your own trading. Why are there no forest fires in the background? Because I'm surrounded by responsible people. What are your thoughts on BitConnect? Did we like go back in time to 2017 or something? I always felt that Ethereum was a bigger scam than BitConnect. I said this back in 2015 and 16 and 17. And I know I'm right that Ethereum is a bigger scam than BitConnect, because I always knew that BitConnect won't be with us for a while, but Ethereum is with us for a while. And it's going to end the same way. People will lose all of their money, but it'll just take longer and more people will get hurt when it eventually implodes. Tone, what prevents someone from creating a Bitcoin that the system recognizes as its own? That question doesn't make much sense. And also, what's preventing someone from building a better electric grid? You know, good luck getting everyone to use it, your electric grid. Like it won't happen. What's your drink of choice? My drink of choice is always tequila, but it's a little too early for tequila, so I'm sticking to water. What's the logic behind the phrase sell in May and go away? It had to do a lot with like the farming industry back in the day. And now it just kind of became its own, you know, self-fulfilling prophecy. All right, guys, we'll take a look at Bitcoin one more time. What do you make of the difficulty being almost 200 blocks behind schedule? Does this mean the miner dump coming next week? Look, our halving was like 8 months ahead of schedule, so clearly there is no shortage of mining. Like the halving is supposed to come in January, and here we are with the halving in early May. So the halving came 7 months ahead of schedule. So we're 200 blocks behind schedule since May. We're still like probably 3,000 blocks ahead of schedule, or way more than that, right? Look, we're 8 months ahead. We were 7 months ahead at the halving. That's unreasonably way ahead. Tone, still believe in space. I mean, I don't mind private companies exploring space as long as they're getting honest funding for it. Am I on a keto carnivore diet? Yeah, pretty much. I have my own diet. Again, if you want to know more about my diet, tonevays.com, blog. There's not much on there, but the last article I wrote, Tone Vays Diet and Nutrition Plan for 2020, I've been following it pretty well. The quarantine's helping me follow my diet. All right, guys, back to the price of Bitcoin. We're still consolidating here. I'm not going to make a call one way or another. We're sitting right at resistance on a weekly scale. So not much more room to the upside without breaking resistance. So either we go down next week hard, or it's time for us to start thinking moon. Zoom, the real Zoom. Haven't looked at that stock in a while. ZM. Oh yeah, look at that. That's the weekly chart. Still got room to the upside on a weekly chart. How about the daily? Wow, just went to a new high on the daily. Yeah, Zoom looks good. I'm trying to get off Zoom to stop using it. I want to switch to like StreamYard or something. I don't know. I gotta find the time. I took a look at Tesla last time, guys. We're consolidating. I'm bullish right here on Tesla. It's funny how the stocks are bullish, but I'm bearish on the market. Tesla is bullish to me right now. Bullish on a daily chart. but it's topping on a weekly chart. So I do think Tesla will top next week because it has also topped on a monthly chart. Because right here, you can see how there was a top on a monthly scale right there. And tomorrow is a top on a daily scale. Well, sorry, on a weekly scale for the whole week. So I think Tesla's going to top, but the candles themselves look very bullish. This is how things break out, not break down. So you have a conflict. You have a conflict. How likely do you think we are to bounce if Bitcoin visits 8,600 again? If we visit 8,600 again, I think we're going to go lower. I think if we go to 8,600, I think we're going to go down to 72. But then from 72, I can see a very big bounce to the upside. All right, guys. Hey, please support with the affiliate page. If you need a debit card, it's in my pocket. I'll show it to you in a minute. I got to get the 3 comma guys on the show. And we're going to have to call it a day, guys. It's getting kind of cold. And I want to go inside. Boom, right there. Bitcoin Atone Vays, Bitcoin debit card. It's awesome. Great conversation.